A megaphone would make a good amplifier for the voice recorder. But I have to record something first. An interview with Pumbaa without official permission from Disney? What the hell do you dream about at night? No, don't tell me. I really don't want to know. Hello, Mr. Kitty. How about an interview? Thank you for the profound discussion. Perhaps the pig's got a cat allergy as well. Pity. Apparently not. I'll hold the megaphone close to the voice recorder speaker. Perhaps the pig's got a cat allergy as well. Pity. Apparently not. Now I'll put the used batteries into the voice recorder. Sparkling new batteries. Perhaps the pig's got a cat allergy as well. Success. This hog herder's already rendered me a fine service. I don't need a walking stick quite yet, but hey, you never know. Straight and long. Could be useful. Ants. I must have scared them up. I can't get at them with my bare hands. Just like in the adventure movies. So, what do we have? Great. The guide rope on the right-hand side of the bridge is broken. That's all I need. I can't get across with it like that. I need to repair the rope first. A prime example of a professional bodge job. It's really quite miraculous that this has stood here as long as it has. Unfortunately, I can't do much here with just my bare hands, other than strangle people with dumb ideas. If I ignore the busted guide rope and try to cross, I'll soon be acquainted with the chasm floor. Way too risky. I need to fix the guide rope first. Leads to the camp. First, though, I have to cross this ravine. There's a tool bag hanging down there. I hope nobody left it there when they took the express route to the bottom. The bag's hanging too low. I can't reach it. Nudge the bag into the abyss? I might still need it. If I'm going to attach the hook to the branch, I'm going to need something more substantial than my iron will. That would be somewhat counterproductive right now. I'll pull out a thread. In fact, this cap is such a waste of space, I'll throw the rest away. I got this out of that old cap. Looks like a rod, with neither a hook nor bait. Is cobbling fishing rods together something of a running gag here? One long hook thing coming right up. Almost as long and sturdy as a proper boat hook. Come to mama. Well, what have we got here then? Nothing left in it. Looks like a wrench, and in fact is a wrench. A typical pocket tape measure. A broad paintbrush. A very soft pencil. A 7B. The wrench fits. Now, let's just hope the mast doesn't fall when I remove the connector. How about that? Rope connector gone, mast still standing. A woman needs a little luck sometimes. Joins 2 ropes or cables together securely. Let's see. This can't be all that difficult. That ought to hold. Unfortunately, I can't do much here with just my bare hands. Other than strangle people with dumb ideas. I'm supposed to completely destroy this delicate bond with the wrench? I'd rather not. Still a bit of a wobbly affair, but it's not gonna get any better. Looks halfway safe again. I ought to be a bit cautious all the same. Whoa, what a mess. Who did this? Hello? Professor Hartman? Strange. No one here. What the hell happened? I had to take a look around. A four-legged stand. On the sensor it says working range 90 degrees. A four-legged stand. I ought to leave the stand where it is. There's a fireplace here, but it's stone cold. Old ashes and stones. It's a motion sensor. The working range of this sensor is 160 degrees. Won't be attracting much interest on the local real estate market. Trespassing here is not prohibited, just impossible. The floorboards look pretty rotten. You want me to get a wood splinter? Even if the floorboards look rotten, you need something a little more heavy-duty than a manicured fingernail. What I'd really like to know is what threw this great big locker all over the place. Feels kind of locked. I'm not gonna get the metal locker open with that. I would need either an oversized tin opener or, to keep it simple, the key. A pipe. That's all I have to say about that. Dry wood. Should burn well. Dry wood. Should burn well. A genuine sun trap. These rocks are getting hot in the sun. Interesting storage method. That's how you keep your grub away from the hungry fauna. If I had a jetpack, then maybe. Before I go aimlessly tramping about in the jungle, I ought to be finding out what happened here and where the scientists have disappeared to. This winch holds the crate hanging from the cable. The crank is missing. The wrench fits, but I don't have enough muscle power. The winch isn't moving an inch. The wrench fits inside the pipe. The wrench and the pipe have made an intimate connection. The laws of leverage are your friends. I'm so excited. There must be something really cool in there. My favorite occupation, plundering. Mostly fruit and veg. I'll leave that here and take everything else. A sleeping bag. Cuddly, warm, but also an accurate description of my ex-boyfriend. A small metal key. The mobile solar charger has to be assembled before it can be used. This sensor has a working range of 120 degrees. This sensor has a working range of 75 degrees. A four-legged stand. Aha! It fits. A laptop for outdoor use. Fully ruggedized. Well, it survived whatever hit the hut completely unscathed. Another movement sensor. A first aid box. How useful. A letter? According to the sticker, that's Professor Hartman's laptop. Sadly, though, the battery's flat. A sensor with a working range of 90 degrees. The professor received this letter from his wife on their wedding anniversary. Turns out married, middle-aged people have very little of interest to say to one another. I'll check the first aid kit. There's still a few painkillers left. Pure alcohol. Gauze bandages. Now all that's missing is someone to bind up. I've cleaned it out completely. According to the sticker, that's Professor Hartman's laptop. Sadly, though, the battery's flat. The charging regulator. The regulator is a good starting point. I'd better leave it where it is. Bearing in mind I don't like puzzles, I've rather nailed that one, haven't I? You can use this mobile solar kit to run smaller electrical devices. I'll connect the solar charger to the laptop. So, the solar charger is now connected to the laptop. Now all that's missing is some sunshine. I'll put the laptop and the solar charger here in the sun. The laptop's protected by a code. A strip of adhesive tape. It's stuck pretty fast. I need something to scrape it off. Might leave a scratch, but the ends justify the means. Is that just the manufacturer's logo? It looks like wedding bands or something. Looks like some kind of diary. Sounds promising. Viruses that are responsible for evolutionary leaps? That story would be an absolute scoop. Now, is there any truth to these ghost stories? Shit. Looks like it's quite possible they're close by here. I need to be careful. At least I now know where I can find the professor. Only now all that's missing is any clue to where this Christian mission is. No saved mail. And if I was going to send or receive any, then I'd also need an internet connection. This is where Hartman saved the pictorial info from the current expedition. The map of the camp. A map of the region to the south of the Bosumtwi. Aha! That over there to the west has to be the mission that Hartman wrote about in his notes. Even the most ambitious scientist has to switch off every now and then. Can't wait to see what kind of music the prof's into. No forecast without the internet. And I don't need a laptop to see how the weather is right now. It doesn't make sense to set off for the mission now. I don't want to be wandering about in the jungle after dark. I'll spend the night here in the camp. Chasing after our scientists will have to wait until tomorrow. I'll set up the motion sensors and build a nice big fire to keep the beasties at bay. The perfect place. The map of the camp. This sensor has a working range of 120 degrees. This sensor has a working range of 75 degrees. A sensor with a working range of 90 degrees. The working range of this sensor is 160 degrees. On the sensor it says working range 90 degrees. I'm thinking that the sensor belongs on top of the stand. This sensor has a working range of 120 degrees. I'm thinking that the sensor belongs on top of the stand. The working range of this sensor is 160 degrees. I'm thinking that the sensor belongs on top of the stand. This sensor has a working range of 75 degrees. I'm thinking that the sensor belongs on top of the stand. A sensor with a working range of 90 degrees. I'm thinking that the sensor belongs on top of the stand. Looks like the sensors are set up according to plan. A sensor with a working range of 90 degrees. Now I ought to make a fire. It'll keep me safe tonight, from the cold and whatever else is out there. Let's get cozy. There. All done. Now I'm gonna get some shut-eye. And in the morning, I'll head to the mission and track down this research team. What are they? Animals? Nasty. I need to scare them off somehow. This is getting really weird. Those red eyes. There must be more than a dozen of them out there. Perhaps I can find something to scare them off before they realize my fire isn't so scary after all. Like hell I will. I'm staying right by the fire. No mistake. Not exactly the best of the best, but maybe it'll give them a fright. They're gone. Hopefully they're gonna stay gone too. It won't be too long now until sunrise. What a night. I never got back to sleep. What were those things? Hey, maybe I caught them on camera. What the? In all the horror movies I've ever watched, I've never seen anything like this. The perfect place. It's a westerly direction to get to the mission. Professor, I'm on my way. The mission. At last. Hello? Anyone home?
God be praised, my child. What can I do for you?
My name is Samantha Peters. I'm looking for a group of scientists. Their leader is called Professor Hartman. According to the notes I found in their camp, they were headed here before they disappeared.
Yes, the men you're looking for arrived here yesterday.
Finally, I've caught up. Can you take me to them?
Unfortunately, that's not possible. They are in quarantine.
Quarantine?
They are very ill. They have high fevers and are unresponsive. Nobody is allowed near them until the doctor gets here. We want to avoid any possible spread of the disease.
Can't I at least have a brief talk with Professor Hartman? It really is very important.
The professor isn't here.
Not here? Where is he?
If I've understood the men correctly, they were attacked at night and the professor was taken away.
Damn it! Do you know who attacked them?
You have to go now, my child. It is not safe here when the darkness falls.
What aren't you telling me? What is it that you're so afraid of? I'm not going anywhere until you tell me what's going on here.
Child, I just want to protect you. If I let you in, you could become infected. And outside, you are not safe from the...
Yes, not safe from what? In the scientist's notes, it says that one of them was attacked by some animal species he didn't recognize before he became ill.
That was no animal.
Well, what was it then? For Christ's sakes! Oh, forgive me.
Our Father, who art in heaven.
Listen, sister. You will now talk, or else I will break the 5th commandment. Who ambushed the scientists and dragged off the professor?
They come from above. The trees.
Locals? Rebels? Hunters?
No, not humans.
Well, what then? Not animals? Not humans? Aliens, perhaps?
The Asambosam.
Asambosam? Never heard of him.
Ancient Ashanti legends tell of strange nighttime beings that lurk in wait for their victims among the boughs of the trees. They pluck unfortunate souls from the ground using their long, sharp claws and then drag them off to their caves where they then suck the blood from their victims' bodies.
So what does your boss have to say about your believing in such blasphemous scare stories?
Scare stories? When you have lived among the Ashanti as long as I have, there's very little that appears unbelievable.
Let's reel this conversation back in from the nether regions of God's asshole and stick to the facts. I shot this photo last night. This little freak was one of a whole group sitting in the trees above me. Might this be one of your Asambosam?
Holy Maria, Mother of God, you can count your blessings that you are still alive, my child.
So these freaks really have schlepped off the professor then? Suppose it's true. Where would the Asambosam take their victims?
Into their caves.
I got that bit. Where are they exactly?
My child, you really don't want to go there.
Yes, I do. There's one hell of a real scoop of a story there for sure. And I just might be able to save the professor while I'm at it. That is, as long as these things haven't sucked him dry already.
Then I really won't be able to stop you, my child. Wait here a moment. This will be a great help to you on your reckless undertaking. Take it.
What is it?
Some intense studies of the Asambosam and Ashanti legends.
Thanks.
May the Lord watch over you.